everybody, how are you? I hope everybody's doing well out there in the YouTube verse. Welcome back to episode number 4 of Chronicle of a Serial Guitar Buyer, the series that I'm doing. So episode 1, we looked at the shredders. Episode 2, we looked at the metal as F guitars. Episode 3, we looked at the single cut guitars that I have in my collection. Today will be episode number 4, going over the double cuts. Now, before I start today's episode, now I am holding this guitar and you may wonder, well, that's not a double cut, why are you holding that? So here's the deal, I wanted to share something with you. Last night, Gus G, a leg of his US tour, was in my town, which is basically 5 minutes away from, the venue was 5 minutes away from my house. He's on tour with Rich Kotzen and Vinnie Moore, and I took my Jackson Gus G signature down with me, and I caught him backstage, and I had him make this guitar extremely official by putting his autograph right there. So that was a triple G meeting double G, and getting this guitar completely official by getting a genuine autograph. So I was super pumped, wanted to share that with you. So let me put this down and we'll start today's collection episode. All right. So as we have been doing, we're going to go from the top and we'll just scrub the bottom right here. Okay, so way over there, what you are seeing is the Line 6 Variax Standard. And what color finish that was that? Escaping me again. Boy, I just can't seem to remember anything lately. God, what is wrong with me? So that is a guitar that's a combination of Line 6 being acquired by Yamaha. So in essence, that is a Yamaha Pacifica with Line 6 Variax guts in it. So it has 3 single coils, but it has the Variax system, so you can change the modeling of the guitar, or the tuning of the guitar, and all of that good stuff. Great guitar as a everyday practice guitar, because it's super easy to play. You feel instantly comfortable when you sit down with one, because it just feels like a good old Strat. The neck is as smooth as satin finish. I got that used, and the first owner, gentleman who had it before me, stripped out these string nuts and put the staggered locking tuners, so it's actually a lot better than it would come out of the factory. Oh, Amethyst, that's the name of the color. You're always going to get it. Alright, so that's a great guitar. I usually have that out just to mess around, because I can go from tuning to tuning to tuning without redoing anything. Great guitar. I recommend if you have one, especially if you have a Helix or a Pod HD 500. Great compliment. One next to that is a guitar that is a bit of a mystery to me. That's a Fender Strat. It's made in Japan. It's a hum single. It's got some kind of a very weird Fender version of a floating trem, locking trem, and somebody I think commented on my video that that's an E series that was available during the 80s, I think. But it's all black. I got that used. I remember paying like $200, $250 or something. God, I hope it's worth something today, because it is such an old guitar. But I don't know the genuine date of that guitar. That's the thing with the Strat, right? Because the neck says one thing on the headstock and whatever, but the body may be, who knows, maybe a Squire body, who knows. So that's one of the Strats that I have, one of the very few Strats that I own. Okay, and next to that is the recent 2018 Fender Player Series Strat in a aged cream color, right? I think that color is reminiscent of a Ingbe Strat color, but it has nothing to do with aimbag. Now, so Fender in 2018 they got rid of the Mexican-made standard series and they came out with the player series. And instantly, as soon as I saw it being announced, I got one. I didn't have a Strat in my collection other than that black one, which is kind of hit and miss because I don't know the origin of that guitar. Secondly, the player series came with the 22 frets, which I don't know why that was a deciding factor, because it's not like I use any frets above 5th fret for crying out loud. Like I said, I'm a poser. I don't ever go around anywhere and say that I play a guitar, because I don't consider me a guitar player. So you know, I pretend like I play guitar. So why the 22nd fret even mattered, I don't know. But so with that, I mean, that guitar is really just, for a Strat, it has all the features that I would have wanted in a Strat, and I love the color, so I jumped at it. So that's the one of the few Strats that I actually own in my possession. Okay, so here is a 2018 PRS SE Zebra Wood out of their Exotic Wood series. So this was a bitchin' guitar. So I saw it online, and I just really love this Zebra Wood veneer top they did. And this is an 8515 pickup combination, but this is the import version of an 8515. So it's not the same 8515 you're going to see in a couple of the next guitars. So this they call 8515S. Has a pretty chunky neck profile. What was a little weird to me about this guitar was that it was not made in World Music Instruments in Korea. This was made out of Cortec in Indonesia. Nonetheless, beautifully put together, beautifully playing guitar. One of my very favorites. Alright, so with that, we will move on to the next guitar. This is my PRS US Custom 22. So this guitar I also got used, and what a great guitar, right? So I had a Custom 24 for a while, which I'll show you in a bit. Custom 22, the most recent version with the 8515 pickup set, which I think is a really good sounding pickup set. This not having a 10 top, however, still has a gorgeous flame maple top, charcoal burst finish. Really dig this guitar, and just playability, you know, if you sit down with one, it's just magical. It's just the way it feels. I traded my ESP E2 Eclipse and plus a little bit of cash for this thing. I just really like it. What can I say? Okay, so that takes us to the next guitar. That's my PRS USA Custom 24. I believe it is the 25th anniversary edition. I've had it for a while now. Its color is Angry Larry, and just a beautiful, gorgeous guitar. Depending on the day, depending on the light, the top looks really different. But either way, it's very stunning. It's got a PRS trem system. Only thing I don't quite like about that guitar is the pickup selector, where it doesn't have the 5-way blade or the 3-way toggle. It's a 5-way knob, so it's a little weird. You know, it's not like I'm gigging or anything, so it's not a big deal for me to get it into the proper position, whatever. But if you have to do like on the fly adjustment, I could see it may become a problem for some. So that's that, and another definite one of my top 5 guitars, if you ask me. And it was my first PRS USA guitar, so it's also very special to me in that regard. Okay, so the one next to it is the PRS CE 24. So that's also a US guitar, but it is a bolt-on, as the CE designation tells you. Got the same 8515 that you're going to see in this Custom 22, but because of the neck being maple and the construction being bolt-on and such, you could definitely hear the difference in tone. It's slightly more, slightly brighter, I would say, and attack is a little bit sharper. And however, that guitar with the satin neck finish, really a nice guitar. I find that guitar actually to be somewhere middle of the road between my Custom 22 and the Custom 24. It kind of sits in between in terms of playability and playing comfort and so on and so forth. By the way, is my Maltese getting in the way of the shot? Yeah. See, I locked up one of my other dogs for this shoot, but this one just came down and he may be in the shot of the guitars. I apologize. Alright, so one next to the PRS is the ESP LTD Elite Horizon. So like I said in other episode, ESP did a brand rebranding a couple years ago where they took the ESP moniker just for the custom shop. So regular ESP Japanese factory stuff they dubbed the E2, and right before that, so right before E2, what they did was they wanted to upscale the LTD by doing the LTD Elite series. It was short-lived, their marketing department blunder. So LTD Elite eventually ended up becoming E2 that you know of today. So that's the LTD Elite Horizon. Beautiful blue finish, blue burst, custom 5, Duncan pickups. I know it's a custom 5 in the bridge, I forget the neck. But spectacularly built guitar. I think it was right around 1400, 1500-ish. But overall, it's just a dream to play that guitar. Playability is just out of the world, and came with a nice case. The binding on the body and the neck and the headstock all flows through. Great guitar. Okay, so speaking of ESP, look at that guitar. So that is one right there is the Edwards Custom 165. So it has a single coil shaped humbucker in the bridge and has a regular humbucker on the neck and then regular humbucker on the bridge. It's got a gold hardware finish, floating Floyd trim, beautiful quilt maple top, and I think it's a 5-piece neck, and then Tree of Life inlay. Actually, Tree of Life is Ibanez, right? So what is that? That's something different. But you could see that it's definitely inspired by Steve Vai Gem Tree of Life inlay. The headstock is very long, reverse, looks like a freaking weapon. And the satin finish neck, that is that could have arguably been in my shredder collection, but I decided to have it in my double cut collection. It's a just really well built guitar, and if you look on the back of it, it has glossy rear on the body. But the way they taped up the transition to the satin finish neck, just a spectacular. ESP craftsmanship at its top craftsmanship, very well displayed in that guitar. So like I said, I've shown you a bunch of Edwards so far, and luckily all my Edwards are several years old, where they came out of the ESP's Japanese factory. So craftsmanship and just overall quality of the guitar is just top notch, spot on. Alright, so this collection here had a lot of expensive guitars for me, which is somewhat unusual. So that one is a little expensive, although I did get those two as a used guitar. And then that thing at the end, that's the Mayonnaise Regis 6 in satin black flame maple, and I had the stock pickup dump and put the Fishman Fluence in there. It's got slight contour on the top. It's got extreme contour on the backside for comfort. When you hold it, it just kind of glues to your body because it just follows your body curve. Multiple piece neck, the multiply binding carries out through the body, the neck, and the headstock. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the reverse headstock. So I wish it had a regular headstop, but it's got the hip shot locking tuner, hip shot bridge. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that may be my very favorite guitar in terms of playability, the tone, so just overall. This collection here may have a couple of my top 5 guitars, but that may take the crown from my very favorite guitar. That answer, however, could change depending on the day you ask me, so you know, whatever that means. Alright, so that wraps up the episode 4, you guys. So now so if you have been through with this journey with me so far, I decided to put together this series because I have extreme pain in my both arms right now. It's right here, where top of the elbow, where the arm folds. And because of my daytime job, you know, I have a lot of repetitive movement that is creating a problem on my forearm, so I really can't play. So that's why I decided to put together this series of videos where I just talk, which is a lot easier for me to put together. So I appreciate your time if you have been with me on this journey, and next episode and the final episode of the collection series would be the specialty guitars and acoustics, which there's a lot of fun guitars that I'm going to show you in that video, so make sure you tune in. Again, I thank you for your time watching. I've been Triple G. You've been great. Until next time, you guys be good human. Triple G out.